Hey guys, this is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another movie review. Tonight's movie review is going to be on the 1990 gangster film, GoodFellas. I finally watched GoodFellas on HBO Max recently while I was on Ocean City, Maryland. Had to stop it at one point when me, my parents, and my friends and family were all going out to lunch and dinner. But then I finished the rest of the film when we got back, and so now I'm here to talk about GoodFellas. So, GoodFellas stars Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, and yeah. So the story of GoodFellas, this movie is actually based on a true story. So the true story behind GoodFellas goes like this. A young man grows up in the mob and works very hard to advance himself through the ranks. He enjoys his life of money and luxury, but is obvious to the horror that he causes. A drug addiction and a few mistakes ultimately unravel his climb to the top. Based on the book Wise Guy by Nicholas, it's based on the movie's like GoodFellas is actually based on the book and novel like Wise Guy. So I actually still have the poster for this movie it's in the basement, downstairs in the basement. Downstairs in the basement, I actually have a poster for GoodFellas, and my dad also really loved this movie too, so I watched it on HBO Max, and I gotta say, GoodFellas is definitely one of the best movies I've ever watched. Yeah, this movie came out like the early 90s, like September of 1990, and I gotta say, GoodFellas is definitely one of the best I've ever seen. It's definitely a fantastic movie from 1990. And probably one of the best films of the early 90s as well, because from what I read on research, this movie actually inspired the creator David Chase to create the show The Sopranos. And I can definitely see why and I can definitely see how this movie kind of almost feels like an early 90s version of The Sopranos. Considering the fact that it's like a gangster film, like a gangster crime movie. And of course you get a lot of gore parts, like some parts that get all gory and bloody at most parts. But that's the point of the movie. That's what makes this movie a really great movie. And of course the acting performances like Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta. Speaking of Ray Liotta, when I first started watching this movie on HBO Max, I think this is actually a newer streaming print on HBO Max, where when Ray Liotta passed away on May 26th of 2022 last month, they actually added a dedication saying in loving memory of Ray Liotta. And I thought that was very nice for them to do, to add like a little dedication card for Ray Liotta before the movie started streaming. Yeah. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. But yeah, Ray Liotta's performance in GoodFellas was definitely great, and it's probably one of his best performances as well. Ray Liotta, he was great in this film, one of his best performances. Robert De Niro was great in the film too. Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. And I also like how the way this movie was shot, the filming, the cinematography is actually very well made, and the shooting itself, it's good. And even the direction itself, the direction is actually very good too. Yeah, and plus there's also another gangster crime movie I do want to try to check out, even though it is considered a very long 3-hour movie on Netflix called The Irishman. I heard very good things about The Irishman. I'm maybe one of these days, if I feel like watching another 3-hour movie on Netflix, I might check out The Irishman, because I heard The Irishman was very good too. Because considering the fact that The Irishman and GoodFellas were directed by the same guy who directed and worked on both movies, like Martin Scorsese, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. My mistake and my apologies if I mispronounce his last name. Because some of you guys already know that most of the time I have trouble pronouncing last names, and my apologies, my mistake. But yeah, because everything about GoodFellas is definitely a fantastic movie, one of the best movies of the early 90s, like I said. And of course, like I said, my dad also loves the movie too. We both like it as well. So aside from all that, overall, GoodFellas is a fantastic movie from 1990 starring Robert De Niro, along with the others. And I'm going to give GoodFellas 5 out of 5 stars. It definitely deserves a 5 out of 5. So if you haven't watched GoodFellas yet, then I recommend checking it out for sure. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it already, because this movie's probably very, I think it gained popularity after it first came out. Like, yeah, I could see that. So there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on GoodFellas, and that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.